Your friends will try to sabotage your sobriety. It's something that I learned the hard way, and it's something that I feel you need to know if you're somebody that is thinking about getting sober or not drinking or just taking a break. And it's something that I didn't expect when I quit drinking. A few weeks ago, guys, I did a video talking about my sobriety journey. It was a video that I was very scared to do, and I was very uncomfortable doing it because I was talking about things that honestly are not fun to talk about and not fun to share with the world, the fact that you were such a disaster. But after doing that video, it was so inspiring to see the support in the comments, to see the support of you guys supporting each other. It was something that honestly I didn't expect, and it got me pretty choked up when I started going through some of the comments. But there were some questions. There were some comments that I felt like I should have addressed or I wanted to talk a little bit about. And so today I'd like to share some more things about just getting sober and things that you need to know. Because when I got sober, it was like I said in the last video, and I'm going to link to that video down below if you haven't seen it, it was by accident. I didn't think I had some raging alcohol problem. I did. I didn't realize it. It was because I was choosing to not chew tobacco, and it was a trigger. And anyway, if you missed that video, I'll link to it down below. Were there warning signs that I was having a big problem with alcohol? Absolutely. And I'm going to share some of the bigger ones when I was in college with you a little bit later, which led me to actually go to AA for a few months, which I'll talk a little bit about in this video. But today I just wanted to share some of the things that you need to be prepared for if you are going to get sober. The first being your friends, they are going to sabotage you. They're going to try anyway. And the reason is pretty simple. They don't want you to get better. It's not that they don't like you. It's not that they don't have your best interest in mind. But when it comes to you choosing to make a lifestyle shift and choose your future, as opposed to the self-destructive behaviors you've been doing with them, they're going to be very uncomfortable. It's going to be like, wait a second, why aren't you drinking, right? And even if you go and you just have like a soda, or you just go and have like a bottle of water, they're going to notice. And they're going to say something, and they're going to do whatever they can to try to get you to drink. It was so bad for me that I had to say, you know what? I can't hang out with these people. Not only that, it's just not fun to hang out with drunk people if you're going to be the sober one. Like, seriously, try it. It's miserable being around a bunch of drunk people. And you think to yourself, I never acted like, that's stupid. Yes, you did. I did, at least. You were that bad. They're that bad, right? I had to remove myself. I had to stop doing the things that I was doing. And that's one of the mistakes I think that a lot of people, when they get sober or choose not to drink, they make. They think, okay, I'm going to go do the same things that I've always been doing. I'm just not going to drink. Unfortunately, for me, it was about reconditioning and rewiring my brain. I needed to change my behavior, because if you think for a second that you're going to do the same things you've been doing and be able to like white knuckle it and just like not drink for like a long time and everything's going to be cool, you've got to understand that it's going to lose its allure. The fun is not going to be there like it was. And the people that you thought were such great friends, you're going to realize are huge disasters. And if you truly want to move forward with your life and sobriety, or just being a better person, because that's one of the other things that I didn't expect when I got sober. I didn't expect to basically realize that there was a better life for me. I knew that I was doing self-destructive things. I knew that I wasn't where I wanted to be, and I hated myself, but I didn't realize what the option was. I didn't realize what the amazing potential for me and my mind and my life was. I didn't realize what was on the other side of sobriety or not abusing alcohol. And that's something else I just want to real quick address. I drink alcohol today. All right, I drink, a few times a week. I'll have a few glasses of wine, like twice a week, once a week, and I control my drinking. And there was a comment in the video like, oh, you still drink, you're not sober. Okay, well, compared to what I was, I'm sober as fuck. Like, I'm not doing the self-destructive things that I used to, and I'm able to enjoy alcohol responsibly. And that's something that you may get to. You may not. And if you're somebody that just can't control it, or after having a bout of sobriety, you can't, go back and without getting crazy and getting right back into where you were. If you can't do that, then you probably shouldn't drink alcohol, period. And if that's the case, then I would highly recommend doing some type of 12-step program. I did 12 steps when I was in college. And the reason once again, this isn't easy for me to share, I've never actually probably mentioned this to anybody before. There are a few things that happened to me when I was in college that made me think, you know what, I'm going to go try to do something about this, because I didn't want my girlfriend at the time to break up with me. It was more about her than it was about me. But one day I woke up and I looked outside and my car was gone. And I freaked out. I'm like, where the fuck's my car? I'm like, where is it, right? My girlfriend then came over. She's like, where's your car? I'm like, I don't know. I guess it was stolen. I literally thought my car was stolen. I called and made a police report. Turns out that I drove it to somewhere and left it when I was drunk. And then I walked home. And I didn't remember this. And this should have been a warning sign, right? You'd think it would be. It wasn't. It was a, whew, I'm glad my girlfriend didn't catch me going over to some other girl's house, which is the truth. I drove it to some girl's house and then walked home. There was another time when I put my hand through my window at my front door because I couldn't find my keys. And I cut my hand all up. I had blood all over my apartment. And I walked over to my girlfriend's house, and she sees me, and I'm covered in blood, and she freaks out. And you know, I was a mess. I was super drunk when that happened. Turns out I put my keys underneath of my charcoal grill right next to the door so I wouldn't forget where they were. Apparently I forgot where they were. Anyway, why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this to let you know, A, you're not alone if you're making some really bad decisions and doing stupid shit. But B, that was kind of a wake-up call for me. Those two instances, they happened within the span of a week when I was in college. And so my girlfriend's like, I'm breaking up with you unless you go to AA. You've got a drinking problem. You're an alcoholic. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'll go to AA because I didn't want to break up with her. And so I went. I found a meeting. And at that point, I was feeling really guilty. And that's one of the other things I guess you need to know is that when you do something really stupid, which you probably already know if you're watching this video, if you do something like really stupid, the next morning, the remorse and the guilt is tremendous, right? The next day, it's not as bad. The day after that, you start to forget about it a little bit. But when you're in the throes of like just coming off of like doing something really stupid or a really bad hangover, right? Like you're committed. And so for me, I was committed, right? I'm going to go to AA. And I went, and they said something the first meeting that really stuck with me to this day. It said, I didn't get in trouble every time I drank, but every time I got in trouble, I was drunk. Think about that for a second. That's something that stuck with me over all these years. It's been over 20 years since I've gone, and I enjoyed it, honestly. And it kept me sober for a little bit, and then I started drinking and going to AA just basically to make her think that I had it under control. And then one day I'm sitting there amongst all these people, and I stood up and I said, hey, my name's Aaron, and unfortunately I'm not an alcoholic. And I got up and I walked out. And that wasn't the highlight of the meeting, that's for sure. People came after me, they said you're in denial, and apparently I was in denial. Was I an alcoholic at the time? I know I didn't have a good handle on alcohol. And I know that I was going to AA because I was trying to satisfy my girlfriend, and it wasn't actually for me. Why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because if you are somebody that is struggling, I highly recommend you going and checking out some type of 12-step program, whether or not it's AA or whatever. It really is amazing to surround yourself with people that are on the same path. The meetings are everywhere. And, you know, just go. You don't have to talk. You don't have to do anything. You can just listen. But I think you're probably going to find that if you're somebody that is thinking you probably should go, or maybe there is a problem, I think you're probably going to be pretty happy that you went. Now, whether or not you stay long term, I don't know. Whether or not it's what you need in the moment to get sober and stay sober for a while in order to have clarity and see how your life improves, maybe that's something you should do. For me, it's not something that I need. At this point in my life, the last time I got sober, basically I was able to figure it out. I was able to figure it out how to responsibly drink. I was able to figure out how to basically not abuse it. And really, the main reason, if I'm being completely transparent and honest with you, is that I don't want to fuck it up. That's as simple as it is. I know that if I keep doing the things that I was doing before, and if I would go back there, I would be divorced, I would be broke, and I would probably be in jail. I might also be dead. I know that. I know that about me. I have an addictive personality, which is why I need to control it. I need to control myself, and I do. And I know what my life is like now. And that's the thing that I need you to understand. If you are somebody that's thinking about getting sober, if you're thinking about not drinking, if you're thinking about just taking a break, what I can promise you is this. If you get past the first month, 2 months, 3 months, your life is going to look wildly different. You're going to look better, you're going to feel better, you're going to have better relationships, you're going to feel better about yourself. Your self-esteem is going to skyrocket. But something else I'd like to mention is I don't want you to preach to other people about it. Now, what do I mean by that? Everybody knows that person on social media that finds a diet that works for them and then is really annoying, like vegans, right? Not that there's anything wrong with being a vegan, right? There's nothing wrong with being vegan, but when you preach it to other people, or if you're somebody that like gets sober or you quit doing whatever and then you're all like pumped up and gung-ho, like that's amazing and I'm proud of you. But don't start talking about it to everybody. Don't start bragging, don't start posting, don't start like screaming it from the rooftops. Nobody wants to hear it. This is about you, it's about your journey. And even though you want to talk about it, honestly, the best way for you to show them is to live well and to just do it. When you brag, when you boast, when you share, when you yell, when you talk about it all the time, and when you preach about something, people a lot of times will tune you out. Now, sometimes they're tuning you out because you're annoying and obnoxious. Sometimes they're just like sick and tired of it. The other thing is that a lot of them know you as something different. And when you start to change and when you start to evolve as a person, you need to understand that some of them aren't going to be ready for it. They also don't want it. They're not wanting you to succeed. They're not wanting you to be better because, once again, it's shining the light and turning the mirror back on themselves. And it's not something that is comfortable. You've got to find new hobbies. You've got to find new sources of recreation. You've got to find new fun. But I can tell you this, that there is no amount of party, there's no amount of drinking, there's no amount of good time that can outweigh the benefit and the beauty of being clear mentally, by being whole spiritually, and being connected to the people that truly love you and want the best for you, including your partner. So anyway, I just wanted to share a few other things with you about my experience and just tell you that I love you. And I'm so proud of you, of the man that you are, the man that you're going to become. And the fact that you're choosing to do something and not just take the easy road and keep going down the self-destructive rabbit hole that you've been. Understand that you will lose friends. It's part of the process. It's actually important that you do, because if you don't, chances are you're never going to truly ascend to the heights that I know that you're capable of.